Coming up next, flooding across the area after days of rain, and now a blast of cold, the latest on the April storms.
Plus, the ongoing fight over Pennsylvania's minimum wage after California raises theirs to $20 an hour.
And getting ready for Monday's solar eclipse to move across our state. The Center County Report starts now. We begin with breaking news. Good afternoon, I'm Jay Bramwell.
And I'm Eric Morris. Thank you for joining us for the Center County Report. Our top story, an earthquake has rattled parts of New Jersey and Pennsylvania today and was felt as far away as Boston. The quake happened in central New Jersey near White House Station and registered a 4.8 magnitude. People have reported their houses shaking throughout the region, and people have even felt the shaking here in Center County. The FAA says some airport operations are affected, including the New York area, Philadelphia, and Baltimore. There are no reports yet of damage or injuries.
Our other big story, this stormy week is ending with a shot of winter cold, and for many areas, cleanup from flooding. 3 to 4 inches of heavy rain fell across Center County and much of central PA over the last few days. That led to flooding, like here in downtown Bellefonte, along Spring Creek. Schools there and other areas dismissed early on Wednesday due to roads flooding. Now, more cold weather has settled in some places and are even seeing a little April snow. Student meteorologist Leah Zamerko is live in University Park with the latest weather. Leah?
Hi, out here on Pollock Road, we can see the students are passing by without umbrellas today and then traded it in for their parkas and hats. We have some Friday flurries here instead of April showers as brisker northwest winds are bringing down a colder air mass, mixing in with that moisture we've seen earlier this week. Looking at that radar, we can see it moving out over the Atlantic and the bands of precipitation in the form of snow following through. Zooming in over Pennsylvania, we can see how those bands are passing through these afternoon hours and will be making their way through the rest of our Friday. Back to you guys in the studio.
Thank you, Leah. We're hoping for better weather for Monday's total solar eclipse that will cross Pennsylvania and bring hundreds of thousands of visitors to our state.
75 hours. That's all that separates us from right now and a once-in-a-lifetime experience. The total solar eclipse is expected to bring a large number of visitors to Pennsylvania.
The estimates for the state are anywhere from 56,000 to 200,000.
Christine Temple expects most of them to make the trip to Erie.
This is something that our area has never experienced. We've had large events in the past, but nothing compares to the anticipated number of visitors that we may see on Monday, April 8th.
Not only will all of those visitors make an impression on the city hopes to make an impression on them as well.
Our community have really gotten behind this, and we're trying to put our best foot forward because, we're welcoming all these visitors, and the ultimate goal is to have them have such a great time that they want to come back and see what else there is to see and do.
Back in Center County, many school districts will be having an early dismissal, with many being encouraged to attend Solarfest at Medlar Field.
So I think that the science teachers have been telling students about that because that's a convenient, accessible opportunity to safely view the eclipse.
Either way, no matter where you are in the state, it figures to be a day to remember.
We'll be bringing you a special live report on the eclipse as it happens on Monday. That coverage begins at 3 p.m. on our Center County Report YouTube channel.
There's a change in leadership at the Bellefonte Police Department. Chief Song Weaver resigned this week after more than 18 years in charge. Weaver's resignation marks one of the 4 police departures in Bellefonte so far this year. The department started the year with just 10 full-time officers. The borough has appointed Detective Bill Whitmer to serve as interim police chief.
A local drug treatment center is now able to provide life-saving medication free of charge to the public. Jessica Heisey reports.
Applegate Recovery and State College has been named a recognized entity by the Pennsylvania Overdose Prevention Program. This means that the center can now provide naloxone, also known as Narcan, and testing strips free of charge to the public.
It's been a long road. I would say it's taken about 3 years to get to this point today where we are a recognized entity, but it's been important and exciting to get there, and I'm just happy we're finally here able to do it.
Narcan is a nasal spray that works to reverse the effects of an overdose by quickly restoring breathing. Caitlin Buheit is the treatment center's director and says that although Narcan is now available over the counter, having centers and free access like this is essential.
I don't think people always feel super comfortable maybe going into CVS or Rite Aid and saying, hey, like, I'm a drug user and I'm at risk for an overdose, and so I need naloxone. Can I have this? And also, it costs money. And, to be honest with you, sometimes that is a barrier in and of itself.
Recognized entities are able to receive larger supplies of these harm reduction tools and distribute free of charge and without any paperwork to anyone who wants it.
We operate under a harm reduction model. That means we want to keep people alive. That is our ultimate goal, because people can't recover and people can't get better if they're not alive.
Buheit says that some people may have stigmas about people struggling with addiction, but addiction to opioids can even affect people who have never dealt with drugs before.
I am aware of situations where a person who, again, has never used drugs in their life, right, never struggled with addiction, prescribed something after a surgery and unfortunately takes too much in an accidental fashion.
She says she is happy about the direction the state is headed and says she hopes accessibility to these resources expands even further.
Applegate Recovery is located on Benner Pike in State College.
April is Sexual Assault Awareness and Prevention Month. Reporter Georgia Peters talked with organizers of an event held at Penn State.
The month of April marks the start of Sexual Assault Awareness and Prevention Month. Penn State's Gender Equity Center is planning to host close to 20 events to support survivors throughout the month of April. The month began with a concert and lecture from harpist Jessica Browning, who uses music to heal from past childhood trauma. She has been playing the harp since the age of 12 and has used music as a vessel to create a safe place for survivors ever since.
We survive. There's a level of creativity that is implicit in it. And to be able to use creativity as a way of empowering ourselves is so powerful.
But it's not just guest speakers visiting campus to raise awareness. Students from all over are dedicating their time to planning walks, protests, and marches for the month.
It took a couple of months. I would say we've been planning this since January.
The Lambda Theta Alpha sorority hosted their annual Take Back the Night march on Thursday evening. The walk, which has taken place since 2010, creates a safe space for survivors to give personal testimonies and to walk Penn State campus in solidarity of sexual assault victims. Emily Sanchez, an organizer for the event, hopes Take Back the Night continues to grow to support the community.
We definitely want to open up the community to raise awareness against what's going on. And even though it's been going on for so long, it's still something that continuously happens in our campus, even if we don't experience it firsthand.
The event featured guests from local organizations such as Center County Safe and CAPS Student Health Services. In State College, I'm Georgia Peters for the Center County Report.
The Gender Equity Center will host a number of awareness events all this month. For more information, follow their Instagram.
California just raised their minimum wage for fast food workers to $20 per hour, and that move has some again looking at Pennsylvania's stagnant minimum wage. Reporter Alexa Spilatris is live in downtown State College with the story. Alexa?
Finding good workers is tough right now. This used to be Hello Bistro, a popular restaurant. As you might be able to see in the signs behind me, they say closed. It shut down last year, and we're told in part because they couldn't find enough people to work. They even used to have signs on the door saying 1 hour shifts available. It's again putting a focus on Pennsylvania's minimum wage, especially after what California did this week.
This week, California raised its minimum wage for fast food workers to $20 an hour. The law affects restaurant chains with at least 60 locations nationwide. Here in Pennsylvania, the minimum wage remains stuck at $7.25 and has been for 15 years. In his budget address, Governor Josh Shapiro said Pennsylvania is falling behind neighboring states that pay more. Penn State's economic professor Ira Salt says raising it would help workers.
The 10% increase in the minimum wage is less than a 0.4% increase in grocery prices. So So I think overall there'd be a net benefit to raising the minimum wage.
Some college students say it's not worth trading their academic and school activities to work for $7 an hour.
Every job that was paying more than minimum wage wasn't hiring. And so the jobs that were, it just didn't seem worth it to me.
Advocates pushing for a $15 wage say more than 700,000 Pennsylvania workers would see a pay increase with that change. 24 states have raised their minimum wage over the past decade.
Every state joining us has a higher minimum wage. They probably go from around $8 an hour up to $15 an hour.
But many small business owners say higher wage costs could cripple their businesses, which is already impacted by inflation. The state's democratically controlled House passed a bill to increase minimum wage to $15 an hour by 2026, but it stalled in the Republican-controlled state Senate.
Nationwide, 30 states and a number of major cities have minimum wage laws higher than the federal and Pennsylvania standard. Live in State College, I'm Alexis Philatris. Now back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Alexa. Still to come on the Center County Report, we'll check the 7-day forecast as we look ahead to Monday's eclipse.
Plus, a new arrival at the State College Airport. Also coming up, find out where you can connect with farmers to buy fresh food at a new spot that just opened in the State College area.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
So you see, son, good manners are important. Should I go through it again?
Yes.
Yes, please.
Yes, please.
Exactly. Always say please, thank you, you're welcome, excuse me, sit up straight, hold doors open for ladies. If the door's locked, knock first, don't burp, don't swear, don't stare, don't use bad language, or talk with your mouth full, keep your elbows off the table.
What table?
Don't interrupt. Cover your mouth when you cough or sneeze. On the bus, give your seat up to anybody who has trouble standing. Bottom line, treat others the way you want to be treated. Got it?
Got it.
Good talk.
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain.
More changes have landed at the State College Regional Airport. Penn Valley Cafe is the newest addition to the terminal. It's now open and replaces the Up, Up, and Away Cafe, which closed just 8 months after opening. The cafe is open from 4:30 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. daily. And College Township is paving the way to a safer ride for bikers and walkers with the new project. The township has received a $500,000 state grant for a new bike and pedestrian path to Penn State's campus. The 1-mile, 10-foot wide path will stretch from Puddintown Road along East College Avenue to the existing path near University Drive at Hastings Road.
And something else is new on the horizon. An online farmers market has now opened a brick and mortar store in the Nittany Mall. Reporter Erica Ross stopped in to see what's going on.
This is like our training wheels too.
Center Markets began as an online farmers market to connect residents and local farmers during the pandemic. Now, 4 years later, they're the newest tenants in the Nittany Mall.
We had thought it was just going to be a temporary thing. And here we are 4 years later, opening this brick and mortar store. And
Owner Sabina Carey says the goal is to connect local shoppers and farmers. With the new location and new product lines, they're also applying to accept SNAP benefits.
We really want folks to be able to use those benefits for fresh, locally raised, nutritious items.
This new location is just the beginning for Center Market's expansion. Their next steps will take them to Pine Grove Mills.
So that's our long-term goal, is to move our retail location there, because we're also expanding into a shared use commercial kitchen space.
But Carrie says the Nittany Mall location may also remain after the location change if there's enough demand. In State College, I'm Erica Ross for the Center County Report.
Center Markets is open Wednesday through Friday and closed on Sunday. And is closed on Saturdays for online pickup.
Young kids in the Center County region are now eligible for enrollment in the Imagination Library program launched by music legend Dolly Parton. Brought in by non-for-profit Center County United Way, Imagination Library provides books to children up to age 5 each month for zero cost. You can register your family for Imagination Library or donate to the program on the Imagination Library's website.
In the surrounding center area of Pennsylvania, going into sports.
All right, we're just going to toss it over to Justin with sports.
Coming up in sports, after lots of complaints, Penn State Athletics announces a new process for buying student football tickets. And we check in with that Nittany Lion football team as the blue-white game approaches. That and more next.
So, I'm kind of new here, but I've noticed a trend. My human does this funny thing where she goes around and gets all my toys, and then she hides them in that basket by the door. But it's always the same basket, and it's always in the same place. And then she acts so surprised when I find them, but, she's putting them in the same basket again. It's like, hello, that's where you put it last time. You were the worst at hide and go seek.
Multiple studies have shown that marijuana can slow both driver reaction and response time, which can be really dangerous. He's here. He's here. Wait. What? I can't drive. Why? My. Oh.
They said I couldn't dream. Called me a piece of trash and swore that's all I'd ever be. Said a bottle couldn't see the ocean. Give up. Go back to the dumpster. But I didn't listen. I made my way. And now, I am what I've always wanted to be.
Frozen flakes falling, we're starting to see clouds moving throughout our Friday afternoon. Current conditions, we're still below that 40-degree mark, hanging around 39, with some northwesterly winds keeping things brisk as we go through the day. These winds coming down from the north are keeping the central Pennsylvania regions within the low to mid 30s, as well as just below the 40-degree mark. However, the southeastern region is remaining slightly warmer than the rest. This is important as we're seeing the precipitation move through the next couple of hours, as Interstate 80 remains as kind of a divider line of when the mixed bag of precip will start to occur. To our southeast, we'll see a little bit more sleet and some pop-up isolated showers. However, in the southwest and to the northern tiers of the state, it'll be looking like pop-up flurries as we've been experiencing this morning. Things will clear out as we go into our Saturday and clouds start to dissipate by Saturday night. This then opens up for Sunday, where high pressure to our north is taking control, keeping us consistent, and it is the pick of the weekend. However, as the system that's just exited is out over the Atlantic, a new one is coming over from the Ohio Valley. That'll be on our doorsteps around Monday evening, and then again another pass by Wednesday and into Thursday. However, looking dry as we go into this weekend. We also have the solar eclipse coming up. Make sure you're in the path of totality if possible, as the Erie area will be experiencing that. So traveling north will be a great way to experience this once-in-a-lifetime experience. Today's forecast, it is 43 with a mixed bag of precip depending on where we are. And the northwesterly winds will keep things chilly as we go into the overnight with a low of 36. Some isolated snow showers will be following. And then for tomorrow, things start to clear up with mostly cloudy skies and some possible precipitation, but a high of 48. Looking ahead at the week, we start to warm up as we get into our Monday and our Tuesday, with temperatures hitting just around the upper 50s and even right below 70 by Tuesday, as the sun will be shining. However, showers would possibly be returning for our Wednesday and Thursday as that system makes its way eastward. Looking like a great day to get outside on Sunday.
No, Leah, I just hope on Monday it is not too cloudy. I want to see that sun and that moon.
Yes, definitely. I'm very excited for the eclipse.
All right, Justin, what do you have for us in sports today?
Coming up in sports, after lots of complaints, Penn State Athletic announces a new process for buying student football tickets. And we check in with that Nittany Lion football team as the blue-white game approaches. That and more next.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
I'm Justin Chevalello with sports. It's 1 week till Penn State football's annual blue-white game. That'll serve as the first opportunity to see some new Nittany Lions.
As Penn State quickly heads towards the end of spring practice, players and coaches are settling in after a few busy months of change. That includes new coordinators and several transfer portal additions like wide receiver Julian Fleming.
And it was a 50-50 shot between going and between transferring. And I just felt like I still needed one more. I needed one more year to really prove to myself who I am and prove to other people who I am. So that's why I was really excited to, come here. And
Fleming is one of 6 transfers now in Happy Valley. He, Nolan Rucci, A.J. Harris, and Jalen Kimber all held offers from Penn State in their original recruiting. Despite those relationships, Kimber and the transfers say they have to put their heads down and work here.
I'm just trying to come in and show what I can do, just put my head down and work. I'm not really trying to pace myself or, slow down or speed up. I'm just going to be who I am and just, do what I do, honestly.
The team is learning the playbooks of coordinators Tom Allen, Andy Koltanicki, and Justin Lustig. And James Franklin says for the transfers and for the team, so far, so good.
So we just did that last week with those guys getting feedback, things that we could learn from and grow from, things they liked that the last program didn't like. Same thing at Penn State. So it's been really valuable, and those guys seem to be adjusting very well.
The transfers will make their first official appearances on the Beaver Stadium grass as Nittany Lions next Saturday at the blue-white game.
The blue-white game begins at 2 p.m. next Saturday, and 3 days later, the transfer portal reopens again. Now, to see those transfers on the field next year, Penn State Athletics is changing the way students purchase football season tickets. Starting next season, a new lottery system goes into effect, allowing a 1-week window to request tickets. Here are the windows for each class in June. Students will find out the week of June 24th if they secured season tickets. To learn more, visit gopsusports.com. And after a great tournament run, the basketball season is over for the Lady Lions. Penn State fell just short this week in the WBIT semifinal against Villanova. Despite the loss, the team had its best season in nearly a decade. Leilani Kapanis delivered an impressive double-double performance against Nova, while Ashley Owusu shined with her consistent scoring. And let's not forget McKenna Marisa, who bid farewell to her Penn State career with a memorable performance. On the men's team, there's some transfer portal news. Former Xavier center Kachi Enze is transferring to Penn State. He's a native of the Philly area and the former number 2 prospect in Pennsylvania. His commitment comes at a crucial time for the Nittany Lions, filling a void left by the departures of players like Qudus Wahab and Favor Ire and Jameel Brown. This week's bad weather forced Penn State and local high schools to postpone most sports events. State College High's baseball game against Chambersburg was rained out at Community Field. The Little Lions are back in action tomorrow at Williamsport. And Penn State's baseball game against Bucknell got washed out too. The Lions will face Northwestern in a 3-game series starting this afternoon. The Penn State men's lacrosse team faces a top 10 opponent tomorrow at Johns Hopkins. That's after a frustrating loss to regional rival Maryland this week. The Nittany Lions lost 13-11 at home to the Terps, even with Penn State goaltender Jack Frascione notching 16 saves. Maryland scored 9 in the second half, resulting in the win. The Nittany Lions are now 7-2 overall, going against the Blue Jays. And Penn State students are hosting a Minions-themed Learn to Golf event for children ages 6 to 10 this weekend. Students in the Recreation, Parks, and Tourism Management program are putting on the event. It's free, but the event is already at maximum capacity. Originally scheduled for tomorrow, the event is now moved to Sunday from 1 to 4 because of the cold weather.
We cannot wait to have 60 kids between the ages of 6 and 10 learning how to golf. It is a lifelong sport, which means that you can play from like any age. So it's something that gives them really good involvement.
It sounds like a fun event for the kids, but that's all we have in sports this week.
Yes, it does, Justin. It's always awesome to expand the game to the younger audience.
Yes, I'm very excited to see how tickets will look next year. Thank you, Justin. Coming up next, a legendary local favorite is making a deep run in the Coolest Thing Made in America PA tournament. We have the details for you.
They said I couldn't dream. Called me a piece of trash and swore that's all I'd ever be. Said a bottle couldn't see the ocean. Give up. Go back to the dumpster. But I didn't listen. I made my way. And now, I am what I've always wanted to be.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
With warmer weather finally on the way soon, you might be thinking about getting some ice cream at the Berkey Creamery. The university's popular ice cream spot is still in the running in the Pennsylvania Chamber of Business and Industry's Coolest Thing Made in PA contest. The Creamery is battling Yingling Lager in the final 8 round of voting. You can vote on the Chamber's X, formerly Twitter, and Instagram. You know, Jade, I love those Peachy Paterno milkshakes. I'm going to have to go get one either later today or this weekend.
Yes, I love the Creamery. That's all for today's newscast. We hope you'll join us on Monday for our special solar eclipse live special at 3 p.m.
And you can follow us anytime for breaking news on our Center County Report X, and you can see our stories on our Facebook page, Instagram, YouTube, and our website. Have a good afternoon.
you.